I guarantee you that you'll find your science-based fat loss answers in this short presentation. What I'll reveal to you has been proven to work, not just for me, but for the male human species as a whole. And guess what? I'm about to break the #1 diet rule for fat loss known to mankind. Can you take a guess what this so-called #1 fat loss rule is? And for starters, I'm going to tear down 3 other so-called diet rules that are just pure bullshit. Or as most of us science and research-driven guys like us call, bro science. If you're not familiar with what bro science is, it's kind of a running joke to label the non-proven, non-scientific pseudoscience that's just flat-out made-up methods of fat loss by random guys you see on YouTube, or quite honestly, meatheads that you just see at the gym. Honestly, the only science those meathead or powerlifting bros use are gear or steroids. So can you really trust what they're saying? When in fact, they're just cheaters who are willing to sacrifice their ability to have sex and even ruin their health. Now, even though I know you want your belly fat gone really bad, doing extreme stuff like steroids and messing with your internal functions is never worth it. You don't want to mess up your endocrine system. Are we clear on that? All right, great. Now, you're probably wondering, could he just be lying like the other so-called nutrition experts? How do I know Thomas's information is truly based on science and not just he said, she said nonsense? Listen, guys, I put my reputation on the line with every word I say, and I do it every day. Everything I reveal today will be backed by scientific research and studies that are published in peer-reviewed scholarly journals, so during this short video, I'll be referencing exactly which university study and or medical doctor that has proven these points, and that's a promise. So please watch this entire short presentation and also check out the research that I've documented on this page. You can even email or heck, even call me to question or call me out if you don't feel like everything that I've mentioned is valid and totally legit. Now, you may be also thinking, he's probably working out 2 to 3 hours every day, or this is just one of those cheat meals that he has once a month. No, honestly, it's not. Trust me. No and no. In fact, the workouts I require myself and my clients to do are like 15 minutes at the most, and only a few times per week. And you'll see why doing less workouts can be beneficial for you in just a few minutes. So back to the original question. What's the #1 diet rule that we as men have always been told that we must follow in order to get a ripped body and six-pack abs? And how is it that I'm breaking this stupid rule every single night and somehow getting leaner, more defined abs than most of the guys that are out there? The #1 false fat loss diet rule is never eat late at night. More so, never eat high carb, high fat, or high calorie foods at night. Sounds familiar, right? And no, this is not a cheat meal, not what it is at all. These foods you see here are what I would eat daily. Now, to those guys who've been blindly following a low-fat, low-carb, and low-calorie diet, all of this may sound quite unbelievable. But is it? I want you to think about this. All this time you've been following those myths or so-called fat loss eating rules that we've all been taught or have read online to get six-pack abs. But do you have the results that you want? And are you really enjoying your life by cutting out the enjoyment of foods? No way. So before you disclaim what I have to say, give me and science a chance, okay? Because right now, I want to show you live footage of exactly what I do in an average day. The diet rules that honestly I break, quite honestly, on purpose, and why. Then, after that, I'll break down the science behind what this one thing you must do differently is. So let me get back to eating for a second and relaxing and just chilling out. And I want you to check this out. Now, even though I've broken the golden diet rule of not eating past 8 p.m. last night, it's pretty obvious to see that eating a ton of calories late at night didn't affect me at all. I'm not bloated. I don't have any excess belly fat. In fact, I'm getting leaner by the minute. You see, although I just woke up, I'm going to immediately start my day by breaking the #2 biggest false diet rule, which is to never skip breakfast. And despite what you have been told about skipping breakfast, doing so sharpens mental focus, improves hormonal balance, and most importantly, calibrates your metabolism to burn stored body fat for fuel. You may also be wondering, do I feel hungry? Actually, no. Drinking water with a dash of Himalayan salt keeps my body nourished with the minerals that I need to overcome the hunger signals. It also suppresses appetite and further boosts your fat-burning metabolism. This is my intermittent fasting lifestyle, And this science-based form of fasting is the most profound discovery I've ever made. It's what made what was once impossible for me a reality. It's given me the freedom to enjoy the foods I love without the consequences or guilt. It's provided a way for me to feel less stressed and become more productive, allowing me to improve the way I see myself as a man. It's given me confidence, a driven mindset, and a way to finally live in my dream body with ease. And the best part of it all? It's achieved without having to bust my ass in the gym for hours every day. I only train 3 times per week. And if it happens to be a scheduled workout day, like today, I can do it right at home. Because in order to get the results like this, you don't need fancy equipment. The body is the only machine that you need, and fine-tuning it takes no more than 25 minutes in the morning. 3 workouts a week doesn't sound like much, but training in a fasted state means that you're gonna be capitalizing on your fat-burning mechanism, and you're gonna be doing double the fat-burning work. This way, I'm able to tap into stored calories that were formerly inaccessible and mobilize the fat cells to be burned directly because there's no food in their way. I believe only in full body workouts, using time under tension as my secret weapon. No more split body parts. You see, I don't count reps. Instead, I focus on maximizing the length of time that my muscles are under stress. Training upper and lower body in the same session also triggers what's called the lymphatic system to remove fat cells and waste from storage to be burned more effectively. During workouts, that salt water that I've been drinking throughout the day and the salt water that I referenced earlier has other powerful effects. It increases muscle contractions and delivers a tremendous pump effect during my workouts, keeping my endurance at an all-time high. Now, to extend and accelerate the fat-burning effects from the fasted state training even further, I'm gonna break the number 3 biggest diet rule. We're just breaking rules left and right. And that rule is eating small meals every 2 to 3 hours. Not only will I skip out on eating small meals every few hours, I won't actually eat again until probably about 4 p.m. I'll fresh it up and go about my day with work or events I have planned with my friends and family. And at 4 p.m., I'll break my fast and enjoy my first meal of the day, which is where I break diet rule number 4. And that's the one that you must follow a low-calorie, low-carb, low-fat diet. Well, instead, I'll be doing the complete opposite by eating a ton of calories in one sitting. Crazy, right? It's about 800 calories. And it's loaded with carbohydrates, fats, and protein. You see, carbs and fats are not the enemy, everyone. They are vital macronutrients that your body needs to sustain muscle mass, to support your metabolism, and promote your hormones. We're talking hormones like testosterone, for example, and even other hormones that help your body grow and burn fat. Now, unlike other diets that require you to cook, to prepare, and to eat the same boring meals 4 to 5 times per day, I only require myself to eat one uniquely prepared meal that consists of the calorie-dense, carbohydrate-rich, and fat-packed foods that I love. And for the remainder of the day, I usually just play it by ear. I just kind of wing it. I might sit down and enjoy an amazing dinner that my wife makes because honestly, she's a better cook than I am. Or maybe we'll head out to our favorite restaurant for dinner. With so much flexibility, I honestly don't really feel like I'm following a regimen at all, and that's why I'm able to sustain it. By changing when I eat, I'm giving my body time during the day to naturally burn stored fat on its own. It's really not magic. All you have to do is change when you're eating. And by doing so, you'll have the freedom to enjoy the foods that you love while still losing the body fat and getting the ripped body and the six-pack abs that you've always wanted. This is the power of intermittent fasting. This is how I'm able to eat the foods that I love up until like midnight if I feel like it. Enjoying life in my dream body with the people I love the most without following some restrictive diet or some boring exercise plan. That's why I consider this science-based approach to intermittent fasting the greatest discovery of, quite honestly, my personal life. Now, let me ask you, would you agree that this lifestyle is pretty darn easygoing and stress-free? No longer having to worry about what to eat during the day, or when you'll have time to spend hours in the kitchen preparing boring diet meals. Instead, only needing to prepare one simple yet quite satisfying meal to ignite your metabolism and trigger a cascading effect of fat loss hormones that are going to do the work for you, and not having to spend hours working out either. And of course, allowing yourself to eat late at night again, like we did as kids, with no worries or no guilt. Your answer better be a hell yes. Take a look into the science behind intermittent fasting. It honestly might just change your life the same way that it truly did for me. Now, like many guys in their mid-20s to early 30s, we are all looking to make progress in our careers, trying to build a comfortable life for ourselves and maybe for our future families. But it's just so damn difficult to find the drive and the motivation when you're not truly satisfied with how you look physically. There is that connection there. And what about being able to attract that one special girl that you've got your eyes on? Seeing all her attention given to some other guy when you know deep down inside you're far more capable of making her happy like she deserves. You begin missing out on events. You miss out on parties because there's a chance you may have to take your shirt off, and that's no way to live. I know we've all been told that looks don't matter, and there's some truth to that. But really, who are we kidding? Of course our appearance matters. In fact, looking and feeling great changes the entire course and experience of your life. It changes the directive. Ask yourself honestly, do you want to live through life never knowing the potential of what the best looking you can be and the life that comes with being your most confident self? I know I wouldn't. And you know what? I didn't. That's why I want to show you how you can make this change for yourself immediately within your own life today. Listen, man, 1, don't blame yourself for your current situation. It's kind of not your fault. It's simply that you were never shown what men juggling a career, the pressure to succeed, and all of life's other curveballs have to do in order to get in shape. What real men have to do. 2, you need to let go of everything you think you know about fat loss and do something completely different from what you've tried before. Literally the opposite. What you will first need to understand is a scientific blueprint of why you must adjust when you eat, not necessarily what you eat. And you're also going to need to know the precise fasting and eating period timeframes to follow that are going to optimize your metabolism and therefore optimize your life. Additionally, you must know the exact macronutrient ratios to eat that are going to allow you to extend the effects of your natural fat burning state for hours and hours on end. So you can accelerate your weight loss goals even further, faster. I'll be sharing these exact details with you right after I break down those 4 so-called diet rules that most of us have tried sticking to. And I'm going to give you the scientific proof on why you need to start breaking them today, not tomorrow. But before I go into the rules, I want to formally introduce myself. My name is Thomas DeLauer. And the reason why I understand how you feel and what you've gone through in your attempts to lose weight is because before I became the most #1 subscribed trainer on SixPackAbs.com, before I had ever landed cover spots on the most influential fitness magazines, and before I ever started changing the lives of hundreds of guys that are in the same predicament as you, I was that depressed, insecure, and frustrated guy that I told you about earlier. You see, when I was in my late teens, I started to develop some pretty bad eating habits. I got picked on a bit, and I was bullied, and it was mostly for being chubby. The emotional stress caused me to seek comfort in eating the foods that tasted the best to me at that time. And by my early adulthood, I had let myself get to almost 300 pounds. And to this day, I still often look at that picture taken of me at my sister's wedding. And it was when I was at my very, very worst. Hell, I couldn't even find a tux that fit me when I was 279 pounds. I just went there in a dress shirt and a vest and a coat that kind of draped over my shoulders. Just remember telling myself, this is the best that I can do. And the best that I could do wasn't anything to be proud of at all. My low self-esteem was draining the life out of me. My career wasn't doing much better. In fact, it was the toughest time of my professional career. My appearance was creating this big mental barrier for me. And worst of all, it was that I couldn't figure out what I needed to do to break away from this trap. Every day at work, I felt unnoticed. Heck, not even just at work, but it seemed like I was getting passed up on every promotion or opportunity by guys who were just more upbeat or had a little bit more of a respectable appearance. I reached a point where I felt ashamed of who I had let myself become. And in the back of my mind, my tough childhood and my teenage years were just this constant reminder that I would always be faced with these difficult roads. It's not like I didn't try to make a change. I mean, I did a lot of things. I tried doing protein shakes. I tried eating more salads. I tried eating every 2 hours like you're supposed to. Heck, I tried everything that the fitness gurus preached, like eating every 2 hours, like I mentioned. I spent hours and hours cooking boring tasting, healthy meals and packing them into Tupperware only to watch them sit in my refrigerator and just go to waste. The ironic thing is that I was in the healthcare industry. I knew what foods I should be eating, but it was so difficult to put it together. I figured less calories, less body fat, right? It makes kind of sense, but I was wrong. Starving myself made my food cravings get out of control. I lost a little weight, but really not too much. I got frustrated to the point where I said to hell with all of it. I needed something that was actually practical to follow, that fit with my schedule, and that didn't make me feel like a failure if I enjoyed the foods that I loved from time to time. Most importantly, a method that had science behind it. I decided I wasn't going to waste loads of cash at the grocery store each week and slave away in the kitchen making meals that I never wanted to eat in the first place. I also knew that I wasn't going to stress myself out by force feeding myself every few hours when I was busy at work and I had other things to focus on. Nor was I going to follow a restrictive diet or do grueling hours of cardio. That is just ludicrous and crazy. I just wanted to do what felt easiest for me, with minimal stress and minimal effort. So what ended up happening was I'd skip breakfast. I'd pass up lunch. Then by the time I get home from work, I sort of just ate normally. And to my surprise, I was actually seeing some results within the first week. I mean, it wasn't anything to brag about, trust me, but I felt less stressed, I felt more focused and clear-headed. My body seemed less bloated, and I was far better off than I was when I was trying to follow a conventional diet and follow conventional advice. At that time, I didn't actually realize that what I was doing was something called intermittent fasting. I was just doing what was natural. But after a few solid weeks of not eating during the day and then filling up in the evening hours, I was actually seeing and feeling results that I never would have expected. My stomach was shrinking. My energy levels were through the roof. I was mentally sharp and I could focus for longer periods of time, which was critical for my career. And my cravings for food were slim to none. So then I looked into the research behind fasting. And to my surprise, I discovered that I was onto something that wasn't just going to change my perspective on fat loss, but that it would completely reshape the way that other guys could experience results without making these drastic changes that you would always need to make. I leveraged a lot of my resources in the healthcare industry and with physicians that I knew about how fasting works and how it's been around for years and years and years. I started diving into as many peer-reviewed studies as I could to try to really figure it out. And I learned that getting my body to burn fat was as simple as changing when I ate, not so much what I ate, which completely contradicted all of the weight loss advice that I'd ever been given. But through my research findings, I discovered that by not eating during the day, I was giving my body a chance to actually burn my stored adipose tissue or body fat for energy. Unlike before, when I was eating every few hours, my body was constantly stuck digesting and absorbing food. So it never had time to burn fat on its own. It's really so simple. So by the time I'd get home after a long, busy day at work, whatever I chose to fill up on didn't make a negative impact at all. So naturally, I was hooked on learning more about the science behind fasting and started digging deeper into the research even more. And in doing so, I learned a trick to make the fat-burning power of fasting even greater. There's a specific way that you can break your fast that makes fat loss occur even faster. It's a simple thing called nutrient timing. You see, when you break your fast with certain key nutrients, you can program your hormones to extend the fat-burning effects from fasting even longer. And by taking advantage of the science of how our hormones and our endocrine system work to burn and store fat, I was able to reach my fittest state yet. In fact, through studying fasting, I can prove why guys who are stuck following the typical diet rules usually struggle to see results. Let's start with rule number 1. Never eat past 9 p.m. Now, if you've ever tried to lose weight before, I'm sure you've heard that eating at night will make you gain weight. Does that sound familiar? Well, I hate to break it to you, but that's not the way it works. It's not always true. You see, if you're constantly eating during the day and you pig out at nighttime, well then yes, logically you would pack on fat. But if you keep your insulin levels minimal throughout the course of the day by not eating, your body will burn through the calories you already have stored, meaning you'll have the freedom to chow down on your favorite foods without gaining weight during the nighttime. In fact, if you time your eating periods just right, you can actually lose weight by eating what you want in the evening. Plus, your stomach shrinks. It's called distensibility, which means that when it comes time to fill up on food, you'll actually be shocked to find out that you get fuller much faster, which in itself helps you consume less calories. I'll get more into how to properly time your eating window for optimal fat loss in just a minute after I bust the rest of these diet myths. Okay, diet rule number 2, don't skip breakfast. I started skipping breakfast because it saved me time, to be honest. When you eat first thing in the morning, you're actually causing your insulin levels to rise. Insulin is the hormone responsible for fat storage. So if we crank our insulin levels up first thing in the morning, we are putting our bodies in a fat storing mode right out the gate. Now, however, when we skip breakfast, our insulin stays low. And when our insulin levels are low, we can tap into our stored body fat and therefore use it for fuel. Which brings me to rule number 3, and that's that you need to be eating 5 or 6 small meals throughout the course of the day to lose weight. I personally threw this rule out the window for one reason only. For guys who want to lose weight, when you eat every 2 to 3 hours, you're in what's called a fed state, or I like to call it the absorptive phase. In this state, your insulin level remains high all day long, which means you're practically in fat storing mode all day. Because you're constantly eating, you never give your body a chance to reach its natural fat burning state. And like I mentioned earlier, we need to have low insulin levels in order to achieve that. And finally, rule number 4, you have to change what you eat to lose weight. We've all heard it before. Cut your carbs, go low fat, eat less calories. But for me, sacrificing the enjoyment of food wasn't really the way that I wanted to live my life. This is the reason why traditional diets don't work. But like I said, fasting isn't a diet. It's not a program. It's more of a way of scheduling the time frame in which you eat so you can reach your natural fat burning state. That means that in order to see results, you don't have to restrict yourself from eating the food you love. You just have to modify when it is that you eat it. Now, I'm not saying that you should take up fasting so you can eat ice cream and Twinkies every night, because even though you may still lose some weight, it's not going to be healthy and you're going to trigger all kinds of inflammatory cytokines in your body. There's a very specific balance which I'll share with you in just a few minutes. But right now, I want to bust another common fitness rule that's outside the realm of dieting. Now, if you've ever been to the gym or you've watched someone work out before, most guys are so focused on hitting a certain number of reps that they miss out on the most important factor when it comes to developing a chiseled physique. And that factor is called time under tension, TUT for short. It describes how long the muscle is truly under work or under stress. And because the more time under tension that you're placing the muscle under, generally the greater the growth hormone release will be. And more growth hormone means more muscle building, and that means more fat loss. Plus, if you incorporate time under tension workouts to your fasting schedule, you'll be able to advance your results big time. And that's because in the fastest state, you'll already be giving your body a chance to burn off stored calories. But when you throw time under tension workouts into the mix, you're going to be doubling the burn and shedding calories at an accelerated rate. It's pretty awesome. And here's the best part about combining time under tension training with fasting. You don't need a gym. You don't need any equipment. And you don't need any more than 20 minutes. I used to spend so much time in the gym and it drove me crazy. Now I'd much rather just be at home or outside. You just need your body weight and a timer for these. Now, if you are finally ready to experience real results and get the ripped, defined six-pack abs that you've always wanted, I'm going to have to ask you to break the rules too, with intermittent fasting. Here's how you can make my fasting protocol a part of your weekly routine. First, pick 3 days a week that you'd like to fast on. With my protocol, I've made it easy. On your fasting days, you wake up, you skip breakfast, you skip lunch, and then you start eating at 4 p.m. You can eat up until about midnight, at which point you'll resume your fast. If you go to bed earlier, no big deal. It's less eating. Ideally, on your fasting days, you'll start your morning with one of my 20-minute shred fast workouts. Working out in the morning is best because it allows you to take advantage of your peak fat burning and muscle building state, since your HGH levels are naturally at their highest anyway. And when it comes time for you to break your fast, I built in my fast break strategy right into the plan. This is a scientific approach to breaking your fast by fueling your body with the nutrients that are best for your hormones. Here's the thing. This strategy uses nutrient timing to enhance the fat burning effects of your hormones, and it's all science-backed. I've built in a list of miniature meals that you can eat when the time comes to break your fast, which is going to extend the fat loss of your diet well into your eating period. So instead of spiking your highly sensitive insulin with junk food when it's time to break your fast, you'll have a wide variety of convenient mini meal options provided so that you can strategically maximize your results and reach your goals faster. So on top of that, my intermittent fasting course provides you with 3 specific workouts. These are phase specific, and all of them use the most efficient fat burning training tools that are available. It's called time under tension. All of these factors contribute to why I refer to my personal intermittent fasting plan as the science-based six-pack course. Now you have 2 choices. The first choice you have right now is to spend years of studying and experimenting with fasting on your own. You would also need to practice using time under tension in your workouts and go through the trial and error of finding out what works and, quite honestly, what doesn't. Or you can simply follow the plan that I use to go from this to this. Every step I took to transform my body was written down, charted, and backed up with research so that I could be sure this was the most proven, safe, and effective method for getting into the best shape of my life. Remember, I came out of the healthcare industry. I'm big on science. I documented everything. And that's exactly what my science-based six-pack course teaches men to do. It's the first ever science-backed nutrition and exercise plan to reaching your best body yet, and keeping it that way. So here is what you'll get when you sign up for my science-based six-pack intermittent fasting course. First, you'll receive my 5 fasting tutorial videos, the Master Fasting Course Introduction to Intermittent Fasting. And in my Master Fasting Course video, my client Matt and I uncover the basics on intermittent fasting, the fundamental principles behind how it works, as well as we're going to cover some of the research behind what makes it by far the most effective form of fat loss for the human body. the best practices, tips, and supplements to use on a fasting diet video. In the next video, Matt digs into some critical questions regarding fasting, such as how to overcome hunger cravings, strategies to get the best results, as well as some of the best supplements to use to reach your goals even faster. The base track versus fast track, how to choose the right fasting diet for you. After that, we're diving into all the differences between the base track and the fast track plan so that when you're ready to start fasting, you'll have a complete comprehension and understanding of which plan is going to be the best fit for you to begin your transformation. Then we've got the fast track meal prep guide and recipes. You'll be able to see how I put together some incredibly tasty and convenient fast track meals, which are the actual meals that I would eat myself. So those of you who are planning on starting out with the fast track plan are going to be able to see exactly how simple it is to make macro-friendly meals, no matter how much or little cooking experience you've got. Then the next one is how to accelerate your fat loss goals with exercise. In video 5, you're going to get the breakdown on what exercises accelerate your results, which ones you need to avoid in order to support your fat loss goals. I'll give you more details on how training with the time under attention principle works with your Shred Fast workouts too, so you'll be locked and loaded and confident with the science to start training smarter instead of just harder. Because my intermittent fasting program is broken down into 3 30-day phases, I wanted to make sure I included a highly detailed video for each phase that covers what will be expected of you as well as what results you can look forward to during that phase. That way, you'll always be on track to seeing the results you've always wanted. Plus, you'll get my 9-video Shred Fast workout series. You'll get to follow along with me in these body weight scorching workouts using the time under tension 20-second interval method. Now, normally, my complete intermittent fasting program is regularly priced at $297. And that's not even counting the Shred Fast workout program. However, through my own transformation, I've learned the value of having a partner when it comes to reaching your fitness goals. So that's why I'd like to be yours during the fat loss journey. And by sticking with me through this video, I know that you invested your valuable time to learn how to accomplish your fat loss goals in the most proven, effective, scientific way possible. The way I see it, having someone like you on my team is quite a privilege. So for that, I'm gonna give you $200 out of my own pocket. That way you can have the entire science-based six-pack program for just $97. Now, remember that $100? The $100 that I bet you at the beginning of this video? I'm willing to bet you this $100 bill that you can break just about every diet rule out there, and not only will you lose weight, you'll even be able to get ripped six-pack abs doing it. And according to my watch, I just spent the last 30 minutes giving you the proof and the exact steps to get you there. So I guess you owe me $100. Now, I'm not going to ask you to pay up because I'm not that kind of guy. But what I will do is let you use that $100 towards your weight loss journey with my science-based six-pack course. We're partners. So if you fail, I fail. It's the way I look at it. And through my own transformation experience, I've learned that failure is simply not an option. So that means failure won't be an option for you either. You're going to be getting a couple of other things with this too. In addition to getting the videos and to getting the cooking videos, you're also going to be getting some support. We're going to be by you every step of the way. You're going to get the detailed PDFs. You're going to get a detailed login so that you can access whatever you need to be in the best possible shape of your life. Because I'm going to make your road to success way easier than it was for me by hooking you up with a free 30-day membership to the science-based Jumpstart coaching team. That means for your first month of your transformation, you'll be granted exclusive access to the private Jumpstart Facebook group where you're going to have unlimited support, motivation, and tips from myself as well as other science-based coaches. This group is 100% exclusive and not accessible by the public. Jumpstart also includes 24/7 email access to your coach, as well as live weekly chats to customize your plan and to make sure that any questions that you have get answered on the spot. Along with your free 30-day Jumpstart membership, you'll also be getting a free month supply of Men's Elite Krill Oil, your daily dose of omega-3s. These fatty acids are considered essential because the body cannot manufacture them on its own. Therefore, it's important to supplement them into your daily routine when following this fasting plan. Omega-3s are going to promote mental sharpness, muscle growth, insulin sensitivity, weight loss, as well as better sleep, which is greatly going to enhance your results while following my intermittent fasting course. But the bonuses don't stop there. I've also included a full master fasting course manual that you can download and print off right from the member site. This manual contains much more than just the written version of my intermittent fasting course. In this thorough guide, you will also have over 15 different recipes to get the most results during your eating periods. You're going to get alternative fast break meals that require no prep work, as well as clean desserts that you can put together in minutes. You'll also find a thorough FAQ section as well, which addresses more of the common questions that guys often have regarding intermittent fasting and the Shred Fast workouts. Plus, I've included many of the research citations that I've collected over the years, which support every aspect of my science-based six-pack course. That way, you can review the studies yourself and feel confident that you're truly following the most proven method for fat loss. On top of that, I've also included 2 printable base track and fast track planners for you. That's why you'll have written instructions on how to follow the plan week by week in order to get the maximal results. These planners also include a food journal, so you can jot down what fast break meals you'll be including in your diet before the week even starts. But an even bigger difference maker is being able to have on-call support to get any of your concerns and questions met, which is why at any time, if you need assistance, you can call or send an email to my team of fitness coaches, and we will get your needs met as soon as possible. You know they say to get results you've never seen, you have to do things you've never done. And I guarantee you that you've never done an entire system 100% based on science like this. From the fasting time zone, the lymphatic fat burning workouts, and the strategically planned fast break meals that progress and change as your body excels. The entire program, along with bonuses, are the stepping stones to achieving the one goal just about every man dreams of having six-pack abs. Now for the life-changing things I've just mentioned, for me, they're not a dream. They're a reality now. And for you to make this life a reality just like I did, stop what you are doing now, click the Get Science-Based Abs button now. And I'll see you as soon as you log in to your personal members site. Still here? That must mean you've got some questions and some concerns that you'd like addressed before you commit. That's fine. So let me go ahead and get those taken care of for you right now. Question 1. What if I already am following a diet and exercise program? Will I still be able to use science-based six-pack? Absolutely. Like I said before, I've written a lot of other programs. You could even incorporate this. If you're following a diet plan like Test Max Nutrition System or the Abs After 40 or even the Six-Pack Abs program, Seniority Health programs, you can definitely still apply all the intermittent fasting approaches to your current regimen. All you'll do is simply apply the fasting schedule to your diet, starting with performing a 16-hour fast and then consuming your suggested meal within your 8-hour eating window on the 3 days you choose to fast each week. You can perform your workouts during your fasting period in the morning while you're in that fasted state. Question 2 is it really safe to not eat for 16 hours? In most circumstances, it's perfectly safe and natural for humans to survive without eating for days or even weeks on end. However, for those who have health ailments such as type 1 diabetes or who are on certain medications, fasting may not be the best approach for you. Just being honest. It's important to talk with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your nutrition plan at all. Question 3. I have 20 plus pounds of belly fat to lose. Will fasting still work for me? Yes, absolutely. The research shows that following an intermittent fasting plan works especially well for those who have more than 20 pounds of excess fat to get rid of. In fact, studies have shown that those who are extremely overweight, 50 plus pounds to obese, find that dramatic results can be experienced within the first week of fasting intermittently. Question 4. Will fasting affect my testosterone levels or my sex life? Since fasting results in lower body fat levels and lower body fat levels are key to having optimal T production, you can definitely expect to increase levels of your master male hormone on this plan. And with healthy T levels, your libido is going to increase as well. Question 5. What can I consume while I'm fasting? Well, when you're in the fasted state, it's very important that you don't eat any food at all for the entire duration of the fast. It's the purpose of fasting. You definitely need to be drinking at least 8 8-ounce glasses of water, and you can add slices of lemon, lime, or cucumber to add a little bit of flavor. You're also free to enjoy black coffee and tea, as long as you aren't adding anything to it, not even sweeteners or creamers. Keep it clean. This is because it will cause your insulin levels to rise and it will throw you out of the fasted state, which defeats the purpose of fasting in the first place. That leads into question 6. So the fast break strategy requires me to eat a specific mini meal, and then after that, I can eat whatever I want. Is this correct? Well, if you're following the base track plan, then yes, that's absolutely true, just as long as you're staying within the calorie guidelines for weight loss that I've provided. Question number 7. What do I eat on the days that I'm not fasting? Big common question. On days that you aren't following a fasting protocol, you're free to eat whatever you typically would otherwise. Question number 8. I'm really out of shape and I'm embarrassed to go to the gym. I don't have any equipment. What can I do? Simple. Well, the first phase of the Shred Fast workout really only uses bodyweight exercises to begin with, so you can perform them right at home. No equipment necessary. Question 9. So how much is the program again? And tell me again what exactly I get. The entire science-based six-pack course is $97. When you sign up, you're going to instantly receive access to all the digital fasting videos, a printable program guide, your food journal, as well as the 9-video Shred Fast workout series. Question 10. What if I don't see results or I don't like the program at all? If you aren't seeing results that you were expecting, you can reach out to my fitness coaching team and they can assess your progress and help modify the plan in a custom way that suits your needs. That's the easiest way. And if you decide that the program isn't right for you, you can contact one of my coaching representatives and we'll reimburse you with a full refund immediately, no questions asked. Question 11. I have more questions and I just feel better signing up with a live person. Is there someone that I can speak to? Absolutely. To reach out to one of my fitness coaches, just call 1-800-655-8576. Or if you're out of the US, call 855-520-7596. Now that I've answered all these questions, it looks like you've got everything that you need to get started with me. Let's do it.